The Russian army has rapidly increased the number of T-80 main battle tanks in active service, as the vehicle's unique capabilities, including its particularly high mobility, have been increasingly highly valued. While during the 2010s the number of operational T-80s was cut significantly, primarily due to the type's far higher operational costs than the rival T-72, which saw numbers in service increased, the demonstration of the value of the T-80's greater mobility in high-intensity combat is thought to have been a primary factor leading the Army to seek to field more of the vehicles. As a result, the latest and most widely fielded variant, the T-80 BVM, is currently operated by 23 units, compared to just 4 units before the outbreak of full-scale war in 2022. The T-80 not only has a far higher forward speed, but also a significantly higher reverse speed, lower engine sound signature, and better cold start capability than other Russian tanks, including the T-72 and T-90. The tank was in production at 2 of the Soviet Union's 3 largest tank factories during the 1980s, but fell out of favor after the state's disintegration as reduced costs were prioritized over performance. The tank was produced at very low levels throughout the 1990s, primarily to avoid mass unemployment in regions associated with its manufacture, before production ended in 2001. The tank's high performance in the Ukrainian theater is thought to have been a primary factor influencing the decision announced September 2023 to restart T-80 production, which is expected to commence near the end of the decade. Despite a lack of production for close to a quarter of a century, the Russian defense sector has been able to continue delivering T-80 BVM tanks to frontline units by modernizing Soviet-built T-80B and T-80BV tanks currently in storage. Upgrades include integrate of the 2A46M 4-main gun, a new 1,250 horsepower engine providing 25% more power, access to a wide range of new munitions, and integration of relict explosive reactive armor and thermal sights, among other improvements. The T-80 is one of 2 tank types to use a gas turbine engine, alongside the American M1 Abrams, although with a weight of close to 80 tons, compared to around 45 tons for the T-80. The Abrams power-to-weight ratio is far inferior. The T-80's much lower weight is achieved despite many variants achieving higher levels of armor protection than the Abrams, and despite the tank carrying a larger main gun than its American rival, leading its design to be assessed to be the most efficient of the Cold War era. Russian army personnel have consistently praised the tank's high performance, with a Russian army commander engaged in combat with Ukrainian units, including German-supplied Leopard tanks, having particularly highlighted in late 2023 its excellent mobility relative to the Leopards. The same Leopards are drowning in the mud. They are constantly drowning. We can observe from drones how they are being taken out of the mud. Our vehicle has a gas turbine engine. It is not afraid of mud or slush. It flies over all potholes. This is the difference that allows our tank units to operate in any weather, support infantry, and overcome enemy trenches and dugouts without slowing down, he stated. Although the T-80's high production and sustainment costs mean it is not expected to be built in comparable numbers to the significantly cheaper T-90M, a resumption of production is expected to ensure that the proportion of the fleet equipped with the vehicles continues to grow. The T-80 family, first rolled out in the 1970s, represented the pinnacle of Soviet tank design with its innovative gas turbine power plant. However, by 2010, numbers had plummeted under military reforms favoring the cost-effective T-72, leaving the T-80 in storage depots. The Ukraine war changed everything. High-intensity maneuvers in mud-choked Donbass terrains exposed the limitations of diesel engines in cold, wet conditions. Enter the T-80 BVM, a deep modernized beast that combines legacy hulls with cutting-edge systems borrowed from the T-90M. Production halted for nearly 25 years until 2023, when Uralvagonzavod, UVZ, restarted assembly at Omstrans, refurbishing stored T-80BV and T-80U chassis rather than building anew, a pragmatic workaround amid Western sanctions. Annual output now hovers at 150 units, with 2025 forecasts eyeing up to 250 if engine supplies stabilize. Deliveries have been brisk, The first 2025 batch arrived June 2nd, followed by another on June 30th, estimated at 20 to 30 vehicles each, per Rostec announcements and social media footage. Monthly shipments continue, with recent modifications spotted on 57th Motor Rifle Regiment tanks in September. A major boost came September 30th, when Kaluga Engine announced resumption of the GTD 1250 TFR gas turbine, upgraded to 1,500 horsepower from 1,250 for enhanced power and efficiency. This is the crown jewel of Soviet engine manufacturing, noted state media, highlighting over 100 new machine tools enabling full-cycle production. What sets the T-80 BVM apart is its unmatched agility, earning it the Extreme Mobility moniker. Powered by the multi-fuel GD 1000 TF turbine, it hits 70 km per hour on roads and 48 km per hour off-road, faster than the T-72B3's 60 km per hour top speed, and reverses at 32 km per hour, ideal for evasive maneuvers. Hydropneumatic suspension adapts to rough terrain, while a stealthy exhaust muffler reduces acoustic signature, making it quieter than diesel rivals. In frigid Siberian winters or Ukrainian slush, its turbine starts reliably at -50 degrees Celsius, a boon for elite rapid reaction forces. Firepower matches its speed. A 125mm 2A46M, 5 smoothbore gun fires spinets, 1/2 APFSDS rounds penetrating 700 to 830mm at 2 km, plus Reflex-M missiles reaching 5 km. The Sosny-U fire control suite, with Irtish thermal sights and laser guidance, enables hunter-killer engagements day or night. Protection has evolved brutally from Ukraine lessons. Relict Explosive Reactive Armor, ERA, counters ATGMs and APFSDS by over 50%, while coke cages and Krisha turret roofs detonate incoming FPV drones and top attack munitions. The Sania CUAS system jams drones up to 1.5 kilometers, and reinforced rear cooling units mitigate ammo cook-off risks, a vulnerability exposed early in the war. Elite units are snapping up the T-80 BVM for its shock troop potential. The 40th and 155th Marines received 2025 production models through summer, per war spotting footage, enabling mechanized assaults like the October 10th push near Shakhov, 35 tanks and vehicles in waves against Ukrainian lines. In Donetsk's Kostiantynivka sector, T-80s exploit rainy weather to dodge drones, advancing where T-72s bog down. Compared to peers, the T-80 bridges the T-72B3's affordability. Deep upgrades now 65 to 70% of the fleet, and T-90M sophistication, 500 units by 2025. It's nimbler than the heavier T-90M, but shares its relict ERA and sights, at lower cost via refurbishment. The tank's superior mobility has become a key reason behind the renewed interest, notes Military Watch magazine.